So basically, I did my master's in biochemistry from Case Western Reserve University, and I graduated in 2020 during COVID. And my plan was to do a PhD after 1 year of work experience. And I was working with a cancer immunotherapy lab as part of the university. Um, but the problem was that I was kind of being promised a certain project, and like she was my mentor. She was kind of like dragging on like I mean, she kind of held on to me and she wasn't letting me go basically. And like whatever I was working on was kind of like scrapped, and like I needed a stable project to so that I could write about it in my resume and apply for PhD basically. And that was not happening. And
Was
like
she
one
paying?
thing,
Was she paying you?
uh,
Were you getting
the
paid?
first 3 months basically, I volunteered for the lab.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, and then after that, then was when I started getting paid. Um, because of COVID as well, like there was a hiring freeze, and offer letter was not being rolled out. So with regards to the visa, there was like issues in that end, and I was kind of losing unemployment days. So that was sort of like a challenge to kind of stop the clock there and figure out how to go about it. And yeah, like eventually,
So
a
did
lot of
you apply
people.
for the PhD program or no?
No, I did not actually.
Okay.
I thought I'd work for a year, and then like slowly I started getting burnt out, and I lost motivation. And I needed to come back home. Basically, there were a lot of things that had happened with uh, because of COVID. So personal losses were, and it was just sort of an isolated situation
Mm-hmm.
in the US.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree.
so I decided to take a break, and it's only now that like the past few months now that I've been, getting back to science, and I'm looking at how to go about this, like if I should go ahead and pursue a PhD or switch tracks. Neuroscience and psychology has been interesting me a lot, like in the past like 1.5 years. So I've also been doing in the sense self-development courses.
Your voice is not coming. Can you come close? I can't hear you.
Yeah, hello,
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
hear me now?
yeah. If you can come close to the mic, it's difficult to hear. Yeah,
Yeah, can you
yeah. Now
hear
it's
me
good.
now? Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have been doing certain psychology related courses as well, like in the past one
So,
year.
so
Um,
are you? What are you doing? Well, since you came back to India after masters, what you did? I know you took
yeah.
time to
Um,
breathe out. I guess I would say. But then what happened? What are you doing now?
yeah. Um, Actually, like I haven't really done uh, anything solid, like work experience wise. I was exploring different avenues, like completely went onto the creative side, and I took up some hobbies, and I
Mhm.
was into art for some time, and like I did like very different non-conventional
No, that's fine.
stuff, basic. And
Yeah,
I've
I
been
mean,
traveling as well.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, you know what COVID did to a lot of people. I think it did something to me also. Is you try to figure it out what you actually wanted to do, rather than what I guess
yeah,
what you were doing you were not supposed to do, or what you're meant to do, right? That COVID did to a lot of people, and I think it did to me.
right.
In fact, I started this channel during COVID because I felt like
Okay.
there was a moment I felt like I should help people, and I have been doing it, and it has been
Yeah,
awesome. It has given me much more satisfaction than my job, to be honest with you. Right, job is for, you
right.
get money
Okay.
out of it because you need money, of course. But this has given me, in personal
Yeah,
level, a mental level, much more satisfaction for sure. And I think it's just not
yeah.
my story or your story. I think it did, which is awesome actually, because one thing you said, you
Mm,
ch- changed track, and I think now what you want to do, which is awesome, right? Which is coming
yeah.
from your heart,
I
I
think,
think, which is
yeah,
great.
like,
So what I'm saying is
yeah,
that's
like,
that's a good
I,
that's a that's a good thing, that you know now what you want to do, because if it is coming from you with a passion, you will do excellent there,
yeah,
right? The only thing,
yeah,
and probably I should ask you. So I think I get it, your story and everything. What's the question here? Because what you want to do, because that's always been a challenge with me when
yeah.
I speak to a lot of the students, is they don't know what they want to do. So I had to figure it out. So I think you know what you want to do. I think I can feel it. But what's the question here?
Mm. I think it's just two parts that I feel
Mhm.
I'll do well in both, because I have that renewed sense of motivation and like energy to just pursue. But
Mhm.
it's just how do I pick uh, the best path for me is I think where I'm standing at, because
So when you talk about two paths, what those are?
one is just going ahead with my PhD, which I wanted to do, like because I'm getting back into science, and like I feel the same sense of passion I had for research.
Hmm.
The other one is like switching tracks and entering into psychology and neuroscience, which is again like it has the science component in it, but it's more sort of like a one-on-one sort of work that I'll be doing with people. Um,
I mean, here's the thing I will tell you.
so again, one
I- Is I also want to know why you're too much fixated on doing PhD. Because
right,
probably you should ask that question to yourself. And the reason I'm not saying because people should not do PhD, and I don't know your personal situation, but it's a huge commitment. It's not doing
yeah,
masters. It's a 7 year
mm,
commitment for a biology student
yeah,
in US. 6 to 7 year commitment.
right,
So again, with all
yeah,
your personal situation, including your, I shouldn't be saying it, but age, your your other personal situation, your mental health, all that you spoke about, you you should know you're gonna push the boundaries, and that is gonna create another problem for you. And the reason I say it, because you have seen the glimpse in your master's program, and you did not
yeah,
do a, and unfortunately you caved in.
yeah.
You understand my point?
It was, yeah, I understand. Yeah,
So
it's
so what I mean, here's the thing. Whatever you have told me about your master's program and what happened to you, It has happened to me in my master's program. It has happened to in my PhD program. It's very common.
Okay.
Everything is not hunky dory. Advisor doesn't love you. Okay, he is
Yeah.
not. He or she is not there to love you. He or she is there to make sure. The only reason they love you if you do a good job. If you're gonna cry all the time, they don't love you. Trust me. They are not your. They are not your
Mm.
mental health advisor. There, very few are like
Right.
that. Very very few. Okay,
Mm.
and that's the reason I tell you is if you're gonna take a leap of faith again and do a much bigger job, I am worried now that what will happen if you cave in. I don't know how much is that related to COVID because that's also a possibility. Because let's say if this was 1999, the um, everything was fine and things like that. And I don't know too much about you, how emotionally strong you are. Make sure you take that into account. That's one part. The second part is why you are fixated into PhD. Ask that question to yourself because you have already said to me that you have found your passion, you know what you want to do. And again, the next part of the problem is, let's say if you want to do PhD too, do you think you want to come to US or you can do PhD in India? That's also a question because the point here is you want to learn.
Um,
And I'm pretty sure, and I
yeah.
know that
I
there are
was
really
thinking.
good institutions in India too. The question here is, can you get
Yeah.
into those institutions? That's a separate story. Because
Right.
a lot of students they come to US because they know getting into, let's say, IC Bangalore is like freaking tough, like crazy tough. That's the reason they pay. They said, okay, don't want to deal with situation. I can still pay $50,000 because my dad is rich or I have money. I'm good to go. I mean, that's the fact, right?
Mm.
And because not everyone, especially for masters, get scholarships. So you take the risk,
Yeah.
and which is again that is the fact. So I want to make sure that you. And the reason I say so is because for you, I was thinking when I read your email too is considering what has happened to you, considering your emotional state of mind, considering again your, I don't know much about your personal background, your parents and things like that, your family situation. I feel that you are well off staying there and figuring it out. That's what I feel. I
Okay.
may be wrong, but that's what I strongly feel. I am
Mm.
worried if you're gonna go again, you're gonna feel alone. You're gonna be into this because what happens a lot of time. Let's say you get into a program and let's say a little thing happens to you. It's gonna give you the deja vu thing. What the hell is
Right.
happening again? And I'm worried if that's gonna create another problem for you. So
Mm.
ask yourself why PhD. Ask yourself
There's
in a,
another part that I'm thinking of, and like I have sort of like I haven't explored industry.
I mean, I
Working
mean,
for a
I mean,
company.
you have a bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree.
Yeah.
Don't you think your life is easier getting a job so that, as I said, the way I see it, the way I have figured it out in my way, I love my job.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I love it, what I do and all that. But I love I'm getting paid, right? Because I can enjoy my coffee, right? And
Yeah.
I can enjoy a lot of other things. But if you
Yeah.
ask me, is that is something gives me an extreme satisfaction? And if that I ask that question to anybody, I am pretty sure the answer would be no. Actually, a lot of people they hate their job. The only reason they are doing is
Mm.
for the money. At least I don't hate my job. I
Right.
love my job. I love the mission. I love the passion,
Right.
right? So what I'm trying
Yeah.
to tell you is there is other way to see it where you can say, okay, hold on. I have a bachelor's master's. Let me put my energy figuring it out a job so that I'm bringing the money and I can enjoy, travel, whatever. Let's say
Right.
Assuming, assuming you are coming from a family who want you to take care of your own at yourself in a longer term. Unless you have that money, unless you think you are well off and there is no problem and you think you are fine, I would say still you can try a little bit to make sure that you are busy. See what happens is when you have a job, right? It puts you into a regular timetable, and which is an awesome thing
Yeah.
because right now you wake up and
Mm.
like "Hmm, aloo ke parathe,"
Yeah.
right? But what happens in a job, you have a camaraderie, you have a people, you have, although it's a very boring thing, but you waking up with a mission. You have a timetable, which
Yeah.
is it puts you on a
Right.
timetable, right?
Right.
So you want to do just for the sake of that. Let's say not even the sake of money,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And then and you can say this is I this is what is going to keep me engaged with the people, with the team, and with the society, whatever. And then what I'm interested in,
Yeah.
I want to focus on
Yeah.
that, right? And you focus on that part, and then take move it along. Let's say if
Right.
at one point of time you felt this is something you can make a career out of it, excellent, superb, amazing, because your passion, your interest, everything goes like together.
Right.
There is a book I would advise you
Yeah.
to read. Maybe you have already read it. It's from, I think it's a Japanese author. It's called Ikagai. Have you heard about that?
Ikigai. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you look at the Venn diagram,
Yes.
right, it talks about your what you
Yeah.
love doing. It talks about what you're good at. It talks about what you can be paid for. It talks about, I think, what the world needs, right? And then it talks about your passion, mission, vocation, and profession, and then you put all these four together. That's the goal,
Yeah.
right? That's the goal. Everybody's goal is that. Trust me, everybody wants to work toward that. But there are sometimes people, you have to figure that out. So what I'm saying is, what
Yeah.
are the scenarios? And many times you probably can take a chart and say, okay, this is my plan A, and this is what I
Hmm.
want to do, and this is how I'm going to reach there. This is my plan B, and this is my plan C, considering your boundary conditions, right?
Right.
So PhD, I have a PhD. I don't recommend people doing PhD, not because that doing PhD is not a good thing, but I don't think this is for everyone. I don't think so. And I also don't believe that this is the way you can achieve greatness, because if that is the case, every CEO would have a PhD, every every politician, Pradhan Mantri, president would have a PhD, every MLA, MP should have a PhD, and actually, on contrary, you will find a lot of PhDs are more frustrated than anybody else.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that among my friends as well.
No, no, every
Some
I
of
mean.
them have even.
And the reason is very simple. I will tell you why. The reason is very simple because a lot of people who do PhD, they don't realize why they're doing it. They come with a wrong
Right.
notion. They think if I do a PhD, I will become some of the great guy. But then they realize what the hell, I'm not. So frustrations comes in because you targeted something, and as I said, not everybody is Albert Einstein, but at the same time, you will find lot of lot of simple bachelors, engineers are doing great things. From Elon Musk to people who are doing amazing thing in India. A lot of startups are coming from those people, not from PhDs, right?
Yeah.
So I would say
Right.
give give a thought to that, because I want you to put more
Yeah.
energy on figuring it out, what you are interested in, how you can achieve your goal, rather than putting two times more energy getting into a PhD program, and then you'll find what the hell. Unless you are
Right.
extremely sure. But let's say you even if you become extremely sure, the idea of PhD is is a quest of knowledge, in my opinion. That nothing else. It has nothing to do with your money. It has nothing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna do PhD is gonna give me more money. Bullshit. I'm gonna do PhD and I will get
Yeah.
certain level of respect in the society. Maybe that's a phony respect, I would say. But I would say PhD just for yourself because you're enjoying that quest of knowledge, and it has to come with
Yeah.
extreme passion and devotion. It will come with a lot of
Right.
frustration. Everything will happen. You will go to turmoil. I have gone through where my PhD advisor, after 2 years working on a project, he said, "Work on this project." I'm like, "What the hell, man?" And it's very
Okay.
common because that's what
Yeah.
advisors do. I mean, they get paid from the project. That's their job. I mean, ये कोई ऋषि मुनि वाला वो नहीं है ना कि
Mm.
knowledge का वो I mean it's a profession, right? You're getting paid by a
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
That project ends, you move on to other project. I mean, but I got frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is not happening. I had an argument, a huge argument. I stick to my guns. I said, no way, I'm not gonna move. Huge fights. So what? I
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I would have caved in, but no. You have to be extremely strong, especially you're far away
Right.
from family, and then your family have your expectant day. There's a, I don't know whether you've seen that video. There's a video, or probably it's a picture where they say, "I'm in US. What my mother thinks, what my friend thinks." You
Right.
seen that?
Yeah. 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 I've seen that.
And it's
Yeah.
so
The
true.
reality is completely different, but
In reality, the guy is
they
washing the
think that
dishes.
yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
what your
Right.
mother thinks, your mother is like, my kid is very obedient guy, and then your dad thinks your dad is like, he's doing some experiments in the lab, crazy ones, and then your friends think you are
Right.
like doing some party and like at New York at the Times Square all the time, and then the reality is,
Yeah.
that, you know.
Right.
So what I'm saying, and here's the thing, I think
Yeah.
I'm preaching a choir
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
have gone through that process. You know the reality. Like for example, if there's a guy in BTech, I would just say, "Hey, this happened." You
Yeah.
have been there. You know the things. So I would say you should be able to take much wiser decisions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely something that I think about a lot actually call. And I worked with one of my mentors is from Australia. So I was in Australia for a year. And it was an amazing experience for me being under him. And it was like, I was thinking if I do a PhD, I would do it only with him because like the sort of work-life balance that he supports and um, I did speak to him recently as well, and he was also kind of giving me the same advice. Like at that time, I wasn't very sure if I wanted to do a PhD. So he told me about his own story and how a good balance of everything is important, not just make work your everything. You should have time to a family and your hobbies, and this is just part of your life, basically. So he did tell me to kind of think about it and to dip my feet in the field again and to see if I really want to stay with it or how I feel about it, basically. So yeah, that's one factor. And uh, while working in US, I was like actually happy with just having a 9 to 5 job and earning money and coming back home and to have the weekend to do what I want to do, basically. So that's sort of what I want my life to be like. Have a balance of uh, both work and for it to not consume all my time, basically. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
I would say it's a fantasy. It doesn't work that way. I mean, you have
right.
to understand one thing, Anitka, at this point of time is You can think whatever you want. Trust me, if I would have asked you 5 years down the road, you would be here today. You would have not even guessed, right?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking.
I think your internet is
Some internet issue, I think.
no, no. I was saying that what you said is fine, but life is very unpredictable in that sense. I mean, if 5 year back I would have asked you today, you will be here talking to me about this topic. There is no way you would have guessed it,
Yeah,
right? So you, you have to understand one thing. After undergrad, the reality kicks in very quickly, and
yeah,
you have to think about things that you or take your decision based on things that you probably have no idea that's going to come to you, and it's for everyone. I mean, as I said, there are so many examples. I mean, you think people who have jobs in US, they they don't go through extreme mental stress. It's an extreme mental stress sometimes. Extreme.
right.
What you felt is zero. Right now, you have to
Mm,
understand. Right now, you are the person taking care of yourself, and you have people backing you up. Your parents are. Imagine people who have families,
yeah,
kids, and lose their job and lose their house and everything. Can you imagine that pressure?
right.
And it happens so much. So what
Yeah.
I'm saying, you as a person should train yourself to be as strong as those people. Otherwise, there's nothing 9 to 5 and coming home and enjoying movie. Yeah, there are days which happens, but I would say, unfortunately, I mean, if you look in US, I mean, I would say in last 10 years, I have faced that situation twice where I have lost my job, put a lot of pressure into me. A lot. I thought I might lose my house. But then what happened?
Mm,
You fought. Now I feel that's the best thing happened because I get paid twice I used to be, and my work suddenly became better, and
okay.
so what I'm saying is like life is like an ECG. It's not a straight line. A straight
Right.
line is dead, right? So
Yeah.
so you know if life is a straight line, it's like a dead person. It's not at all. And unfortunately, and here's the sad part, a lot of time things that will happen to you has nothing to do with what you did.
Mm, right.
A war in Ukraine will do something to you.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it's a tough road ahead. Prepare yourself. You probably, that's what I'm trying to say, tell you, you probably need to gauge yourself to figure it out. Like, are you ready for what you're what you're looking for, whatever you do.
Right.
I would also agree, US is much tougher in terms of even for doing a PhD as compared to other countries. Like if you do PhD in Japan, it's a 3 4 year. That's it. We are done. Same thing with Australia.
Right.
Same thing. But then you also have to understand that, and again, it's not for everyone. There is a reason why everybody
Mm,
flocks to US and not go to Japan or Australia,
yeah.
because the opportunity pool in US is huge. Everything comes
Yeah.
from there, directed by there. So that's why you see, even the worst situations, worst circumstances, people don't come to, like, if you I can bet you, if you go to any college and ask students, given a chance, a
Yeah.
country where you will go, I can tell you, even today, where
Yeah.
India is probably doing good and whatever, and the world is much safer in other countries, people will give you the same answer. I said they they would like to go to US. There is a reason behind that.
Right. Yeah.
And as I said, so um, I don't know whether I have answered your questions, or probably I don't know your question, but I'm just trying to figure it out by engaging this discussion. Like, give you trying to tell you few things which in your deep in your heart, I think you probably already know.
Uh, um, I guess I'm just exploring now. Like I have signed up for a training, CRISPR training, and I have been engaging with some people in LinkedIn. So there are some companies in India, startups, which are looking to hire, in the R&D department. So that's something I want to explore.
I think I personally think that's the best thing that will happen to you.
Right,
Get into you. I think personally, I think what you need to do is right now is streamline your life. First, do that.
right.
I think
Yeah,
it's little scattered, and by asking
yeah.
by asking all these questions that I want to do PhD, that's what you're trying to do. But I think there is an easier way. The day you get a job,
Hmm.
you will have a timetable. You will be more organized, and probably then you can take a deep breath and say, okay, let me think what I
Yeah,
want to do now.
right.
And who knows? I mean, if
Yeah,
you work for a startup and if you work for any other company or things like that, you probably like it, right?
yeah,
And sometimes what
yeah,
happen is if your stars are aligned, things go well. Who knows? You will become a VP, and then you are like, this is the best thing that happened to me. I'm glad I left Case Western,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, right,
So I won't. I think you are in a right direction in terms of your the thought process. If I was you, I would definitely look to explore if I can find a job, at least streamline my life before I just haphazardly thinking here and there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's what even I was thinking. Once I have that sort of stability and a structure to my life, then
exactly, exactly.
then it
Is
becomes easier to know what I want.
yeah. There is a saying called grass is greener on the other side. At least by doing a job or
Yeah,
whatever, you will get an idea. Then you probably won't hate too much what happened to you in Case Western.
right. Yeah, I believe that everything has a reason. So,
No,
like
because
that is also a
yeah,
learning.
yeah, no, no, I'm not saying this in terms of that I'm blaming you, but imagine
Yeah.
not every person is as strong, and and then as I said, COVID did wonders to people. Trust me. There was
Yeah.
when I give seminar during COVID time, I used to put a slide where there was three images and said, "What did COVID did to you?" The idea
Okay.
was use your time wisely during COVID because you got a lot of free time during COVID. People got a lot of free time. So it shows
Right.
three images. There's some
Yeah.
people become drunk, some people become chunk. I mean, this guy is like so fat because you are eating all the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
And then some people become monk.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, COVID did wonders to people, and I think it's still, if you look at businesses, everything is still there are so like deep effects to that. Like people wear in no bullshit attitude, and which is amazing.
Right.
Like now it's getting where people are getting some sense. Otherwise, people are like they were not listening to anyone. They were like, "You don't want me job? Here's the resignation. Done." That's how people
Right.
attitude was. I mean, the managers were
Yeah.
scared of telling people what to do the work.
Right.
people were like
Yeah.
mentally like this never happened. I mean, there is a coin they termed,
Pushed
right?
to that extent.
Yeah, yeah. There was a coin that they um, the greatest layoff. No, no. There was a term that coined where basically it was on the other side where managers were more scared that they're gonna leave. People like companies where now
Yeah.
companies are like you need to come to office now after so like 4 years,
Yeah.
but and then still people are
Right.
resisting. But at the time, people didn't give a shit. So COVID
Yeah.
did wonders to people. I don't know, and I will tell you one thing. If you ask me what COVID did to me, I think it helped me in many ways.
Mm.
It helped it literally helped me in many ways. Personally, professionally, I think COVID helped me. COVID did
Okay.
nothing wrong. Professionally and personally, COVID helped me actually. So I don't know
Okay.
what would have happened otherwise. If there was no COVID, I think I was in a really bad situation. Not really bad situation, but
Okay.
a bad situation. And like COVID helped me much ways because I was able to.
Okay.
Again, having said that, I'm not saying it was easy or the times were not tough and all that, but coming out from COVID, it did wonders for me personally and professionally.
Mm.
So I don't know whether I definitely I was
Yeah.
not drunk and chunk.
Yeah, I think it put everyone into perspective, like to rethink life goals and to basically understand how to navigate through uncertainty
I mean,
was something.
yeah. I mean, as I said, in a crude farm, it made you realize that you are not scared of one and take decision. It's just huge thing because a lot of time we can't make decision
Yeah,
because we are scared 99% of the time,
yeah,
and very few
right,
people can do that, and those people are amazing because they are extremely, I would say, successful people. Look at Elon Musk, not realizing that I have the last $20 million left, and if my rocket doesn't go, I will be bankrupt. Who can do that?
yeah,
Nobody.
right,
No. I mean, look at
yeah,
our business for people, Reliance and all those people. Even they have so much money, they don't take any risk, like zero risk, right?
yeah,
They play such a safe game. But here's the guy, and look
yeah,
at, and then the result is the wealthiest person in the next 10 years. He can
right,
buy probably Nepal or Pakistan right now.
yeah,
So, that's
true,
what it is. So so those are a different league of people. I shouldn't be
yeah,
using their example. Those are outliers. But what I'm saying is, COVID did something to other people that where they were like, "Fuck that shit. I will do what I want to do because of
yeah,
so."
mm,
And as I said, I think it did good to you. It probably made you realize what you are supposed to do. And I think I strongly believe the wonders only come when your passion, your interest, everything merge together. That ikagay.
yeah,
Trust me. The If you look at even people are surrounding you, even India's Prime Minister Modi ji. I mean,
yeah,
you people can say a lot of things about any person, Elon Musk or Modi or any, but you can imagine they are there because of that passion, and they can. Otherwise, not every politician is that passionate or can do that, or every business person or
yeah,
leader can do that. So that's very very important.
yeah,
Amazingly, not everyone is able to do it, but if somebody has guts and balls to do it, go ahead, do it. It long term. I had actually. I will tell you. I have in my so I did my undergrad from IIT, and I have
Okay.
We used to have I had a colleague, same batch, 2003. He was in civil engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you his name later.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. He used to do crazy things like theater and all that, and we. I mean,
Okay.
as an engineering guy, you're like, बताओ ये क्या कर रहा है बंदा? नाटक नाटक करने आए क्या यहाँ पर? But he was passionate.
Right.
He knew that he wanted to do that. He probably did engineering, and he confessed that in a lot of his interviews. He confessed that in a lot of interviews also, that he did probably because everybody was doing it
Mm-hmm.
and I did it too. Like, you are a 90s kid and everybody wants
Yeah.
to become an engineer, right? But then he got a job at
Yeah.
Infosys, went to Bangalore, stayed there, left that job, struggled in Bombay for 10 years. Now
Okay.
is one of the biggest lyricists. His name is Varun Grover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's my batchmate.
Okay.
And look at him now,
Wow.
Filmfare Awards, everything. And you probably will see a lot of his
Lovely.
interviews. He says the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
fascinating story.
Yeah.
And now he's like in a
Yeah. I
different
think
league.
that also comes with a lot of courage.
That's what I told you. Not everyone has that, but I'm pretty sure this guy didn't have a courage
Yeah.
when he was in 12th grade because he was preparing for engineering schools. He didn't have a lot of courage. I'm pretty sure when he
Mm.
graduated because he, like everyone, we were applying for jobs. He did too. He worked for Infosys. But then what happened to him?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's something in the
Yeah.
back of his mind, but making that decision. I mean, leaving a job. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And then going against your family and against the league, and imagine again left the job, like quit, went to Bombay, struggled 10
Yeah.
years. Nobody knew him about him for 10 years. This is 2003 he graduated. I think
Yeah.
2004 or 2005 he went for Bombay. I think the first success you start, now you are seeing his success actually. I mean, he
Yeah.
did a lot of stand-up comedy and all that. I mean, there are so many, and he was one of them. But now you see the real success of him after. I think he got the Filmfare Award for Moh Moh Ke Dhage, and now he's. I mean, the
Mm.
biggest success came when he got a break in Gangs of Wasseypur with Anurag Kashyap, and I'm telling you, I mean,
Mm.
we know him personally, but this is how it was pan out. Can you imagine doing the 10 year of struggle and people are saying a lot of things like, I'm pretty sure he saw that. But now, even if you look at his
Yeah.
interviews or if you look at his things, how bold he talks. Because, one thing happens
Yeah.
is also when you, here's the one thing I have realized in my career also. When you go against the wind, and if you are able to prove it,
Yeah.
trust me, nothing amazing happens to you. Your self-confidence goes on nitro. You are not scared of anyone
Yeah.
after that. And
Yeah.
this is, I think, what you need.
That's true.
And if, as I
Mm.
said, it's not easy, it has a lot of risk. I'm pretty sure not everyone's stories is 12th fail story where you go and become an IPS officer, but
Yeah.
there are a lot of them who did that and failed and probably are under huge depression. But that's the risk you carry.
Right. Right.
So I'm not saying that you should or take a revolt against something, but um, yeah, I will tell you. I mean, I was never a good student in my life. Never. I'm 60% student, and I started preparing for IIT and didn't get selected in that year.
Mm.
Everybody was after me. My dad
Okay.
was saying, go and take admission to this college or in South because there are a lot of donation colleges, right? And I stick to
Right.
my guts. I said, no, I will prepare.
Mm.
And I think if you ask me, I think now I look back and I see I was under a lot of depression. I lost weight. It was everything that had bad happened to me. I was under immense pressure. But then when I did it,
Mm.
after that, there is no stopping. I think
Right.
after that, lot of things happened to me. Like I will tell you one thing. This is again going for. So I did my master's from University of Arizona, and I defended my
Mm.
thesis. And this assistant professor, he was a new guy, joined, arrogant, very arrogant,
Okay.
and told
Mm.
my advisor that he thinks that his thesis has a lot of rigged data. Inquiry went in.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Inquiry, departmental inquiry went in.
Shit. Okay.
And I had an offer for a PhD because I want to move on. Imagine, I didn't tell anyone, not my parents. I was under immense pressure. It was a worst situation at the time. And they did inquiry.
Yeah.
I said that's fine, do it. I they went along my
Yeah.
logbook where the data is logged, this and that. I knew what will happen. It will
Mm.
I have to do it. Whatever it is, it is.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
my advisor was convinced that it was fine. And I after it took 2 months, but that 2 months, oh my goodness, anything could have happened. I fortunately
Right.
I think I was still writing the data on my on my notebook. That was the good thing that I did. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you could have probably type in computer and you'd
Yeah.
just imagine. I
It's
don't think
because
I
the
have
professor did not trust the data that you had
I
presented,
don't know
or he just
I
didn't.
don't know I don't know what he thought, because here's the one thing happened is I did my
Okay.
master's with thesis in 3 semesters. And he thought that how
Wow.
can you do that quickly, because you have to finish coursework, you have to do research and all that. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he was like, but what I'm saying, it's not like I went and cried to my parents. It was very easy to do that. I was very scared. And at the time I remember the PhD student,
Yeah.
because I was a master, the PhD student who was a PI on that project or working on that, he was, I thought he should have been more supportive, but he was not malice too. But it was the worst situation. And so what I'm saying, this happens. If you realize,
Mm.
it happens to you all the time throughout your life. It never stops. All this bullshit. Yeah, you did.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry, the internet sort of broke off in between.
No, that's fine. So what I'm saying is,
Sorry.
in the life, you
Yeah.
realize this happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, what happens is, if you cave in, it's your loss. Nobody else's.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another unfortunate thing that I learned also is, world doesn't care for people who lose.
Yeah.
No, nobody cares. People have been, after COVID, I would say people have been more sympathetic. That's for sure. 100%. That's the reason I'm talking to you, or people have been spoken to me. But world doesn't care for people who seems as a loser.
Right.
But then when you fight it and you come back as more strong, people notice you for sure. And you can see what I just told you. People who have, especially this is very true in sports.
Yeah.
This is extremely true in sports, and there are numerous examples. Think of a sport person who lost
Yeah.
or who seems as a loser because of some reason, and they cried and they complained. What happened to them? They are vanished. And the people who fought
Right.
back and came stronger, they became the hero, or the stories.
Yeah.
And because sports is very competitive, there is nothing actually even come close to academics when what people go through in sports, in my opinion. Very intense. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what else, Nayaka?
That's it for now, I guess. I think I know how to move forward uh, right now. So I am not really thinking like 5 years, 10 years down the line because it doesn't really make sense because life is uncertain and
You can
you
you
never know.
it doesn't mean you should not be planning for 5, 10 years. That's fine. But I would say
Yeah,
um, uh, once you plan something, there is always that people do in engineering called risk factor. That if let's say for example, you say I want to become a vice president of
yeah,
some company, and I want to achieve this by 2040. It's a good goal. It's achievable goal because you are giving a
yeah,
time and you put a realistic goal. It can happen. But
yeah,
then you should also say, what if this happens during that time? How would I'm going to navigate around? What if this happens? What if this happens? Um,
yeah,
and if you do that, I would say it's the chances of you being successful are or the probability of you being successful is very high because there is nothing binary 1-0. It's always a probability, right? So
yeah,
the probability you're just increasing the probability by mitigating the risk, and that's I think
right.
is a good approach to do it in my opinion. And always while you do that, you should have plan B. You because what plan
Right.
B does, it doesn't give you a shock,
Yeah,
right? So that helps you. So every if you have, let's say, the 100% of your energy in one basket or towards one goal, and if that goes because Ukraine suddenly started a fight, I'm saying
yeah,
arbitrary, and you will
right.
realize that's where the panic comes in, and a lot of people like
Yeah,
it's a very good, actually stock market is a good example for that.
yeah,
If you look at investment portfolio, the way people invest in stocks, the rule is diversify. That is the key.
yeah,
Nobody can say buy
right.
put all your money for Apple.
Yeah, yeah,
So same thing goes for life also. Diversify your energy so that if one doesn't come in, you always can hang on to a clutch to other one like you did while you went to Case Western and it didn't work out, you clutch back to your family, right?
yeah,
And let's say, for
yeah,
example, there is a kid who rebel and fought parents and this and that and no friends, nothing, and then it's like, I'm so selfish. I'm going to go to Case Western, and then advisor kicks him out. What he or she does, right? So same thing. Diversify your portfolio. Give reasonable time to your family, to your job, to your mental health, to everything. So it puts you in a well balanced situation. And life is, as he said, is
yeah.
you where what you age you are in. This is not.
I'm
This is not.
29.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. Whatever age you are in, I will tell you, you have not seen. You have seen nothing. The fun part will come
Right.
the day you get married. You will have kids. Oh, you have no idea. Probably you can ask that your parents how fun it was for them. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure looking at you when you were sad, even though that has your parents has nothing to do with how what went through them is unimaginable. And one day you will be in that position too. I hope not, but
right.
the sad part is you never know. And so just imagine. So take your own responsibility. Take your put on your put things together, house in order, make decisions with are realistic, make sure you don't make sure you know yourself that what you are and what you not should be doing, what happened. Stop complaining,
Yeah,
because, as I said, life is not fair and nobody cares about people who complain. And you'll be fine.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's my last 10 cents for you. Anything else? I think it was a good discussion. I
Yeah.
think I'm pretty sure you might have some takeaway.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was like basically solidifying more of what I was channeling
Actually,
towards. So,
actually, the you what you are just saying. One thing I realized is when I started career counseling, I thought I'm gonna give some newfound gyan to people, and then what I realized is people already know what they
right,
want, and all they are looking for is some sort of assurance from a person who
reassurance.
yeah, assurance or reassurance from some that. Trust me, 99% of the time it is that. 99%. Whether they act on it there after that, because as I said, it's not about listening, because you can listen to people from next 2 hours. It's the tough part is the action after that. There are
Yeah,
people who have taken, because it's easy for them to take that action, and it sometimes the decisions is not tough, whether like should I go to that university versus that, like easy decision, right?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
can tell, I can say, okay, this, and they're like, okay, that's what I do, and hey, thanks helping me out. But sometimes the decisions are tough, especially if they are more personal. People
right,
decisions are the toughest decision. Personal decisions are the
yeah,
toughest one. So yeah.
right. Yeah.
Okay, Nenka,
Thank
I
you.
think we have been
Okay.
talking for a long time. Any other thing that I
Yeah.
can help you with?
Right now I don't think I have questions as such. Do you think, right now with my profile, if I apply for work in Europe, uh,
Yeah,
do
don't
you
waste your
think
time.
it would be, I mean, challenging because I have a gap? Uh, what do you recommend? Like, should I try to get some work experience first? Because again, it's uh, like a sort of like a loop where people are, they don't want to hire someone with a gap. So right now, I'm trying to basically get
I'm
things
saying is,
done.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think don't waste your time looking for job in Europe and somewhere else. India would be the best. And I'm not saying because you should not get it. I would say it will be tough for anybody who is staying in India and looking for a core job in US or UK. It's nearly impossible. Your best chance is to
Okay,
get a job where you are.
right.
Don't waste your time. And as I said, many other reasons. It's just not about doing the job. You probably have to figure out a lot of other things too. Let's say tomorrow there's a job
Yeah,
and they say, hey, come to Mauritius. Yeah, probably you will go, but I don't know what will happen to you next after 6 months.
right.
So,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
Okay, Ninka, I have to leave,
Thank you
but
for your
nice talking
insight.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah, it was
Take
nice.
care of yourself.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.